Hi, everybody. Thanks for being with us today for this special session or all lives dedicated to our international alumni who work and live in France. Today, we have with us alumni from our MSc in International Business. I'm going to show you a small presentation just to inform you how we're going to deal, how we're going to handle this presentation. So can you see my screen? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Wonderful. So today with us we have Borni from India, Daniela from Colombia, Alexandra from the US, and Federica from Italy. Last but not least, Frédéric Gobert is the head of the Kedge Alumni Network, and she will be with us tonight too. And so I'm going to start with a very brief presentation of the International Business Program. Very short, because today the point is not to talk about the program. It's neither to talk about the program nor about the admission process. The focus is really on our alumni, and so we will get to know them better. We will know what they were doing, before coming to Kedge. Then they will share with us their experiences, their own experiences at Kedge, and we'll get to know their professional experience and current situation, so after graduation. At the end, we will have Frédéric, who will present all the services of the Career Center and of the Kedge Alumni Network, and we will finish with a questions and answers sessions. So during the presentation, you are invited to ask all your questions on the chat box on the side, and we'll answer at the end. And please do cut your microphones, and here we go. So the MSc in International Business is a very old MSc that we do have at Kedge, so with a very good recognition. We are actually the best international master in international business and trade in France, and we are very well ranked in the world rankings too. This MSc is available on our 3 main campuses in Paris, Marseille, and Bordeaux. As I told you, it's an old MSc that we do have in this very old school. It has been created in 1986, and our alumni have been hired by more than 700 companies across the globe. So, as you might know, most of the MSCs of Kedge, all of the MSCs of Kedge actually, are the fruit of our centers of expertise. Kedge is one of the best business schools in France and in Europe in terms of research. So most of the teachers that you will have a PhD or come from the private sector. So now, and by the way, my name is Catherine Maisonneuve. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Catherine Maisonneuve. I'm the International Promotion Manager of Kedge for the Americas, and I will be your host tonight. So I'm gonna retake the presentation. So where are you? You're here. Wonderful. So can you see me now? Yeah. So we will start with the first question. Who you were before coming to Kedge? What was your situation, and why did you choose to come to France and especially to Kedge? Maybe we're going to start with you, Alexandra.
Sure. So my name is Alexandra Breinig. I come from Chicago, Illinois, originally, so the United States. And before I came to Kedge, I had actually lived in France 2 times before. I had done a 6-month exchange in high school, and then 1 year of Erasmus in university. And so I had spent 5 years after getting my bachelor's degree working for companies that were focusing on international business and between French-speaking countries and the US, primarily in sales and account management roles, and always in some sort of software startup or technology companies. And I always knew that I wanted to move back to France after having such wonderful experiences there. And I had done a lot of research on my master's and where I would want to go. And every time KEDGE came up at the top of the ranking for what I was looking for, I wanted an international program that had accreditation in my home country if I ever decided to come back to the US, and was well recognized in throughout Europe as well as throughout France. That would allow me opportunities to stay in France and find a fantastic job and meet people from many different countries, especially liking the fact that the International Business Massey program is so international in terms of the students that it takes. And so for me, that was really kind of essential, as well as the fact that it had a mix of professors who came from the academic and the professional worlds, which I thought would give a really good insight as I studied this advanced degree. So that was kind of how I ended up in Bordeaux and in the Massey program.
Thank you very much, Alexandra. Federica, please, could you go on?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Federica. I'm Italian, and I do live in Paris. I'm today a key account manager at Withings, which is a French startup company. What I did before coming at KEDGE, I did my bachelor in Italy, and then after my bachelor, I did 1 year of exchange in Denmark, where I passed 6 months studying and 6 months as an intern. What happened is that basically I needed to follow my studies, and I knew that going back to Italy would be like somehow like closing my mind. I needed that even if I wanted to study international business, going back in my country, I would face just like Italian people, which was really not what I wanted and what I would expect in my path. So I started looking around, like looking on the internet where I want to go. And I must say, like, France was like really my last choice because I was not speaking French and it was like, no way, it's too complicated, I'm not gonna go there. Then it happened that I did a weekend in Bordeaux. I visited the city and I passed in front of the school and I said, okay, why not? And I entered. I said more than 1 weekend. It was maybe 1 week. And I entered and there was a woman who was very, very kind. Like she took me in her office and we started having a conversation. I explained my situation, what I was, what was my background, and then she introduced me to the Massey program. I said, why not? Check the ranking was very good. Like I would not have any problem going back to Italy, as Alexandra said, like to get my graduation valid in my country as well. And that's why I choose KEDGE.
Thank you very much, Federica. Borny, please, could you go on? Your mic is, we cannot hear you.
Yeah. I'm always so confidently speaking with the mute on, so sorry for that.
It's okay.
Okay, first of all, I'm so honored to be part of this session, and all of these women are so inspiring. So I come from India, and from one of the smallest town possible in India. It's called Tripura. So this is a place where women don't really go out of the country to study. So it was quite a revolution and still a revolution. So I got an opportunity to move to a place called Pune, which is near Bombay. And thanks to my mom and dad, who sort of had a fight with their family to allow me to go out, but in the country. So it's a college called Symbiosis. This is one of the best schools for bachelors of commerce. So I was always into business studies. And while I was pursuing my bachelor's, I got contacted from my school's professor saying that there's a wonderful business school and that it's quite old, but now they have come up with new courses, and there's a new course called MSc and it has a good ranking. Why don't you try? So I took 1 year to learn a little bit of French, the basic French, and then I came here. And I need to admit, it's a different world altogether. I could learn so much. I could come out of the small shell, which I always wanted to do, and learned much, not just about the French culture, but also different cultures across the globe, as you all must have experienced in the hostels. And right after I completed my MSc, so let me talk a little bit about the masters, as you guys have already mentioned. So you have a nice blend of many courses that help you understand the international studies in terms of be it the legal, be it business side, be it geopolitics. So you can truly understand how the business work, and what is the importance of cross-cultural communication. So it is not just figures all the time, it is also about the taxation, the law. So this course is a blend of all of that, which you would need to understand business in international sense. And there's specialization, for example, finance, marketing. So I was into finance, then I changed to marketing because that was more interesting for me. And
Borny, thank you so much. This was actually the second part.
Okay.
So it's okay. It's okay.
I have to calm down.
You're spoiling the second part,
Oh,
which
no.
is very good. So Daniela is going to introduce herself, and
sorry to spoil that.
no, it's okay. It's wonderful, but I think that you will have to some of them.
Yeah, I'm going to cut
very interesting things that you were saying. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
Thank you for stopping me. Otherwise, I would have spoiled much more.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Daniela, please.
Okay, well, hi, I'm Daniela. I'm from Colombia. In Colombia, I was studying hotel and tourism management, and when I finished, I started working on tourism. So I was very happy with my work, but I want to be more international. So that's why I wanted to do my master. And I lived in France before, actually in Bordeaux. So I love it, and I say, okay, I will go to France again. And then I start to look different masters, and then I look at Kedge, and for me was the more complete master. And also I love the city, so I say, well, I will go there. So that's why I choose Kedge, and that's why also because the ranking. I was looking a lot the rankings of the masters, and I say like, okay, I will go to that. So that's why I came to Kedge, and that's why I select this master.
Thank you, Daniela. So now we're gonna go for the second part, which would be like more your experience at Kedge. And so could you share, well, all of you, and I think that I will keep the same order if you don't mind, like just share some stuff about your experience, like multicultural experience, if you want to share things about like the courses, the adaptation or whatever. Like Alexandra, could you take this question, please?
Yeah, happy to. So from my side, it was a bit of a unique year in that there was actually less international students than normal, but it also then allowed for a really unique cultural exchange between the French students and the international students that we had. And we had students from China, from Poland, from Russia, from England, from the US, from Canada, and then all over France. So you had different French accents as well. And I had never lived in Bordeaux before. I had only ever lived in Grenoble and Paris. And so it gave me a really nice exposure to the southwestern part of France and also to the accents. I remember the very first day at Kedge learning the word for chocolatine and not saying pain au chocolat. So it allowed me to have some cross-cultural learning, even from coming in speaking French fluently. I spoke a Parisian French. And I learned a lot of new vocabulary living in Bordeaux, and the weather was beautiful and right near the water. So it was a really lovely experience for me living in a different part of France. And then also, as far as the program was concerned, one of my favorite memories, I would say, or experiences was actually doing the two concours for the corporate strategy contest, as well as the global business plan project, of which my group actually won both first place. So that was quite fun, but it was a really interesting exercise both times, and in cross-cultural communication, in strategy, in developing a plan from scratch, and working amongst your colleagues and classmates, and then presenting in front of these professional individuals who are directors and CEOs of major French companies who are coming in to give you their own insight for free. That's just like an invaluable thing to have as a foreigner who wants to come and live and work in France. It was a fantastic experience for me. So honestly, having studied at 3 different French universities in the past, I would have to say that KEJ was still my most enriching experience that I've had when studying in France, and I couldn't recommend it enough.
Cathy,
On t'entend pas, Catherine.
Sorry. Ça arrive même au meilleur. So thank you so much for Alexandra. I was asking Federica to go on, please. Sorry.
Okay, so there is much to tell, I think, about my experience in KEJ. Like, there are some like cultural aspect, I would say, and some more like educational aspect. I'm gonna start for everything which is culture related. That is not just to make people scared, but it's just because it's a fact. I'm Italian, so like in terms of culture with French, like we match pretty much. Like it's easy for integrate. But then I struggle so much at the beginning because like in Bordeaux, it's so hard to find a flat. And I didn't know it, and their KEJ helped me to find a flat, but I stayed like 2 months passing from one hotel and be a bed and breakfast from the other. So that's the beginning was like, wow, I'm just so close to home and so hard. But then everything went well. And in terms of class, we were like pretty much half of the people were French and half we were international. And what was very interesting for me is that like international was really international, was not just European. I was just coming from 1 year in Denmark where I was surrounded by Spanish, by French, by Germans, etc. While at KEJ, you got like to work with the Indian culture, Chinese, and whatever, South America, etc. And that's very, very useful because in Europe, in terms of culture, we are pretty much the same. I mean, you can have some differences like between Germans or in South of Europe, but then it's pretty much the same. But then getting to know how to work like with the Asian culture is totally different. And this it's something that I do in my job today, and it's something that I learn at KEJ, like to coexist with other culture and understand how to work together. So it was very, it was funny. It was challenging, and I must say also that like compared to like my background that I was coming from Italy, I study economics, so there was a lot of number. At KEJ, they teach you how to work and how to live in real life, like it's real, like it's games, like for instance, like the competition that we used to do, like with the business plans, etc. You just learn how the world of work is gonna be, and you do learn how to sell yourself to the others and how to integrate yourself with other culture, which is today essential in my life and in my working life. So I definitely would recommend an experience at KEJ, yeah.
Cathy, your mic.
Yes. I'm sorry. So yes, wonderful, Federica. Borny, would you go on and share your experience, please?
Yes, sure. I'll go on and I'll stop at a time.
I know that you're ready, sport.
I did feel the winds, I think. But now I feel that you guys have spoken so well, and I don't have much to add because I have already spoken about it in the beginning. It can be really exciting experience, and even during our time, I think you guys also we had a trip to Brussels, right? You guys had the same, the European Union trip for 1 day.
Yep. although I had a very unique experience with that.
Did you? Okay.
I was there during the attentat, and we were stuck inside the European Commission for the day.
You were in this promotion.
Yeah, I was
I
in the
listened about that,
2015
yes.
promo.
Oh,
Whoa.
that was tough. Yeah. That
Oh
was.
my God.
It was an adventure, but I have to say, though, even despite what happened, the way that Kedge looked after the students during that whole situation was fantastic. Like, we were so well looked after, and none of us felt as scared as we probably could have. So yeah, I'm glad you guys got to enjoy the actual day that was scheduled, because I heard it is a fantastic day. But we had a fun day anyway. We went to Waterloo instead. But
I mean, for me, I could not ever imagine that I could enter EU, the office, and we could have discussion and brainstorming with officers. And that day, they were discussing about the GDPR guidelines as well. So you see, so in this MSc, we had more of practical than theory. So even with professors, if we have one session of class, the next session will be a group presentation. So we were on our toes to think as if we were in practical, we were actually working, and we had to deliver results. So that was nice. And because we had teamworks, we could integrate with the different culture, and we could see how people think in different set of situations, and be so we could learn so much. So that was something I really experienced, the teamwork and the being on the toes. That's all I say.
Thank you, Borny, and thank you for talking about the study trip. The study trip to Brussels is one of the very strong points of the MSc, and it remains one of the still points. So you all went through this wonderful experience. In your case, Alexandra, I know that you were stuck, I think, in the metro station. That's it, right beside what happened.
We arrived to the there was the initial bomb at the airport as we were on the bus ride to the commission. We arrived to the commission, and within 5-10 minutes there was the bomb in the metro. So we were inside the European Commission for 11 hours.
Yes, you got locked inside.
We got locked
yes,
inside
I do remember.
Security, and none of the MPs had even arrived for the day. And so we were there with like the janitors, and they gave us like cookies and coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
no.
it was,
That's
they were very lucky, to be honest. Yeah, you were lucky. You were lucky because you got locked inside, and yeah.
But it was also an exercise in kind of geopolitical situations, and how do countries deal with these kind of situations in real life, and actually seeing, the politicians who represent these students and all this kind of thing, like acting on our behalf that day. So that was kind of a silver lining or interesting aspect to what happened. We're seeing how people actually take charge in those situations.
And actually you lived in your skin. You're part of a history, because you were there. Like, well, this is not something that I wish to anybody, because I think that I was born in South America. Daniela is from Colombia, and I can tell you that when you go through this kind of stuff, it's not funny at all, but well, it's part of history, and in this case, it was part of your study trip to Brussels that year. Thank you, guys, girls, for sharing this. Daniela, could you please go on with your experience, please?
Sure. Well, you guys talk a lot, and I think that you say the most important things. But maybe I will add something of the city. Bordeaux is a very good city. Well, I know that the master is in Paris and Marseille. Well, I've never been there, but I think that the experience being in Bordeaux was very good, because you can mix the experience living in a French city and having an experience with international students, as you say. So it was very good to have this mix, speaking English, but also being in the culture of a French side. So it was very good for me. At the end, having different point of view of different nationalities, you can learn a lot how to work with these nationalities and cultures. So it was very, very important for me. Then also the travel was very good. We were the last group going to the European Commission, and then the day after we went there, they closed because the COVID. So we were very, very lucky because we were the last day. So yeah, that was very good. And well, you said everything, so I will just say that.
If I can, there was one other thing I thought of that I think is really important to share as well, that I had never thought of before coming to Kedge, because in the US, public speaking is kind of something that we start at the age of 5 in primary school. But one of the central kind of components of the MASI program or Kedge MSc programs in general is a lot of public speaking and getting up and presenting and learning how to use your voice in a professional manner. A lot of times in your bachelor's degree, you just take notes and you listen to what the professors say, but you don't really have the chance to voice your opinions or actually know what it's like to potentially present a product or something to an investor or a client. And a lot of my fellow classmates were saying that was the first time they ever had any practice doing any kind of public speaking, and that now they feel much more comfortable doing that in their real world jobs. So I think that's something that Kedge is very unique in having a focus on as well.
Yeah,
I can't agree more on that. And the kind of support the professors were providing, that was amazing. And I mean, each one of them, every time you have a problem, you are stuck, they have been so kind and being always supporting, right?
A way to teach is the learning by doing. So yes, and I know that you have case studies, etc. So thank you very much for mentioning all those good points. So we're gonna switch to the last part of the presentation, is talking about your professional life. Usually, your professional lives begins with the internship. And people have to know that at Kedge, the internship is actually a 6-month internship, and it is a professional internship. So usually it's sometimes like the first step in a company and or your way to stay in France. So Alexandra, could you share with us your experience, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was also part of the reason that I chose Kedge, because I knew that I wanted to stay and work in France, and that having the stage or the internship as part of the program being required was going to help me kind of edge in that direction. So I actually found my internship through Kedge. I worked for a company called Magnetis in Paris. They're a media marketing technology company that was founded by 2 Kedge alumni from the BBA program in Bordeaux. And I was the 4th person hired in the company. And I did my internship as a head of technology partnerships and international business management. So looking for potential clients and partners all over Europe. So I got to travel a lot. It was a really cool internship. And then because they were so small, they couldn't really hire me. So I found a full-time position also in Paris with another marketing technology company called Realytics. And there I worked as a country manager for all English-speaking markets for a year. And then I was promoted to a key account manager, a position where I worked with companies like Nespresso, Diageo, and many others. And it was really cool because I got to travel a lot again. And that position I was also able to have thanks to the APS, which is something that, because Kedge is considered a grande école de commerce, or essentially like the Ivy League of France, it allows you to have a special 1 year, or now multiple year, I think, permit to stay in France while you look for your job after the stage. So that's how I found my job at Realytics. And then I was there. From there, I went and worked as a key account manager for the online gambling industry for a payment company called HiPay, also in Paris. And I worked there for 1.5 years. And then that job ended right before the pandemic. And I got a job offer in Malta, thanks to that position. So now I work for the largest fintech payment company in Europe. They actually just became a fintech unicorn during the pandemic. So now worth over €1 billion, a very exciting thing, a company called Trustly. And so now I work with some of the largest online gambling companies, managing their portfolio and helping the business grow throughout not only Europe, but North and South America as well. And for me, none of that could have happened without doing my internship at Kedge and the experiences that I had through that internship that gave me the skills I needed to find those other consecutive jobs. So,
thank you so much, Alexandra. Federica, could you go on, please?
Yeah. Okay, so as I mentioned before, like finding an internship after Kedge was not easy, not because Kedge doesn't open you doors, but simply because I was not speaking French. So I struggled a bit. I wanted to stay in France. I mean, the easier option would be just like to go in Amsterdam or like Dublin, where everybody was going. But then I was determined to stay in Paris, to stay in France. But then I chose Paris because it was way more international. And what I did something funny. I learned how to do interviews in French. So I studied by heart and I knew how to answer the question. And I understood that like I was speaking English and then I was speaking Italian. So the luxury or fashion sector was good. So I kind of like reduced my research and focus on this market, even if it was not my favorite market, but at least just to start. And I got my internship at Leneride, which is basically a jewelry sector, and I was taking care of South of Europe. Funny story is that my boss thought that I was speaking French, and after 1 week she said like, Federica, you don't speak French. And I said, but I said you. And she said like, I'm going on holidays for 3 weeks. When you come back, you need to speak better French. So like it kind of like give me the extra push because the French was in my head. It's just that I was like afraid to talk, but I have been 1 year listening people talking French, so it was just there. Then again, I speak Italian, so it's a Latin language. And then I started, and from there I started, like from the internship, they got me hired, but I stayed like 3 more months. Then I got more power in terms of negotiation, so I could allow myself to look for other jobs. I moved and I stayed 3 years at Alexandra, which is still a French company in the design sector. And then 2 years ago, I changed again and I work for Withings. I'm a key account manager. So Withings, I don't know, is a French company. The French people may know that we do sell health devices, connected health devices. And what I can say, first thing, like once you speak French, then and you did like a French school such as Kedge, the doors are open. I'm not saying that it's always easy, but it's never been hard for me to find a job. I mean, it's more the job coming to me than me going to the job. So I always been in the 5 years of careers in the position where I could choose where to say yes and when to say no. I could choose if to stay or if to leave. And this couldn't happen if I didn't do Kedge before, I think.
Thanks, Federica. For people who come from abroad, the French system is kind of very elitist and it's very subtle, but it's all about networking and Kedge, and you will see it with the presentation of Frédéric Gobert. Kedge has a very strong network. We have over 70,000 alumni. And the school is the fruit of a merger, but in between Marseille and Bordeaux. But both schools were founded in 1872 and 1874, if I have a good memory, and they merged in 2013, but both were very strong. And so I do agree, things are not, well, it sounds easy right now because you have good positions, because you got all the strength of a network, but it is not because you just moved to France, and if you go to university you will see that things are not easy at all. So thank you for mentioning this point, Federica. Borny, could you please tell us about your professional situation and experience, please?
Yeah, sure. So after I finished my master's, my first internship was at KEDGE itself. So I was in the department of summer schools, and it was quite a fun experience. And I was working mostly with American students there. And soon after I finished my first internship, I could do another internship, and it was in Paris. It's a Japanese tech company. It's a SaaS platform called NTT Communication, and that's where I was working completely into marketing. And as soon as I got over with my internship, I had to wait a little bit because I was not speaking French again. So 7 months of wait, I tried my best to learn French. I was lucky. I got a job. Right now, my job needs me to speak in English only. So in my job, even if I try to speak in French, I don't find anyone. Even French people speaks in English. So what is this company? So basically, it's a SaaS platform for email marketing. So it's the best email marketing tool in Europe, and it's growing in America. It's called Sendinblue. If you've heard of MailChimp, we are the direct competitor of MailChimp into email marketing, and now we are growing rapidly in terms of social media as well. So what's my role? I started 1.5 years back. Oh my God, it's 1.5 years already. I just imagine it was yesterday. So my role was SMR, which means a market responder. So mostly into researching, qualifying the inbound leads for the account executive. And not just that, also making sure I understand the competitors' landscape and help my manager. So soon after 8 months, I got a promotion, you can say, and now I take care of rest of the world. Whoever speaks English, US, UK, India, lots of Indian clients. In fact, Malta. So recently, I signed a company called Vodafone. It's in Malta, so it's quite an empowering experience. And again, KEDGE is a value addition. Honestly, when I was at KEDGE, I did not know what is the value of KEDGE. But when I'm in Paris, every time I say that I'm in KEDGE, their eyebrows go up and they're like, oh, that's a prestigious business school. But again, I agree with the fact that when you speak French, you have stronger negotiation in terms of, you will not feel vulnerable. You can go and explore other opportunities. And why not speak such a beautiful language? And I'm still working in writing French, but I can speak better. So this was my experience. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Borny. And Daniela, well, Daniela is not yet graduated. Actually, you just ended your internship a couple of months ago. So we have a COVID about like almost graduate person who is going to share her experience with us. So please, Daniela.
Thank you. Well, my work experience actually begins before the internship, because I was working at KEDGE and I was doing my master at the same time. So it was very interesting for me because I could do both. And then I was working in the international development of the university, so it was very good. And then I got an internship in a company that called HDF Energy. It's a French company, and it was that is a renewable energy company that works with hydrogen. And I was developing the market in Latin America, when I come from. So it was very good for me because it was an excellent opportunity. I was, for example, working with very important people in Latin American countries, like the ministers or some, like people like that. So it was very, very good experience. And then I finished my internship, and unfortunately I cannot stay. But right now I'm working at KEDGE again. I'm working at the admission office, and I'm still searching another job. So yeah, actually, well, with the COVID, it's a new situation for all of us. But well, I'm lucky that I have the work in KEDGE, and I am looking for another opportunity. I want to stay a little bit in France and work more here. So yeah, I will see, but for the moment it's very good.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you so much, Daniela. And yes, you were all mentioning, some of you mentioned, that speaking French was important. So yes, French people are chauvinistic. So you have to be conscious that you have to make an effort. I think that 80% of the students that I do recruit, I'm in charge of the Americas, don't speak French when they arrive now, and it was not maybe the case for some of you. We do have French courses for beginners included in the program. So this was already the case in Marseille, and it is the case. It has been the case for 2 years now in Bordeaux. And usually you have, before coming, once you are registered, you are considered as a cadre. Once you are admitted, you will have access to online courses too. So really take this time to have at least a basic French, but because then when you arrive, you will see that you will need very quickly to speak French if you go for your everyday life. And yes, so but you have French courses for beginners included in the program. All of you were mentioning the cities where we have campuses, and we are very lucky because the main campuses of CADGE are in beautiful cities such as Bordeaux. Bordeaux, it takes 2 hours. Bordeaux is like a small Paris. It's a very beautiful city. It takes only 2 hours to get to Paris, and it takes less than 2 hours by car to go to Spain, to San Sebastian. We are very close to the Atlantic Ocean, and it is a very beautiful city. You were mentioning that it's kind of hard, Federica, to find a flat. It's because Bordeaux is very popular. It is actually the place to be, and a lot of executives working in Paris because, well, Paris is an expensive city. They prefer to have their families living in Bordeaux, which is we have a reputation to be poshy. It's like the poshy city, but it's a very beautiful city. And then you have Marseille, and I think that Borny, you can agree with me. Marseille, it's a very lively city. It's always sunny. The campus is in a beautiful place called Les Calanques. It's gorgeous, and
totally. The day I got an email from you, I was just thinking of Calanques, the campus, how beautiful, how chic the campus was. I mean, I can't agree more with you. And I remember in the summer, right after the class, we will quickly finish our classes and just go for hiking.
Yeah.
In the Calanques for 4 hours, sorted. Beautiful.
It's so beautiful. And now, and this is new, we will have the MSc in International Business available in our brand new campus in Paris. And it is located in Bercy, in Cours Saint-Émilion, for those who know Paris. So it's a very beautiful place too. And so no matter where you go, the 3 cities, you will enjoy the 3 cities. It's very beautiful and the same quality, because the teachers move from one campus to another one. So thank you, girls. So now we're gonna have this small presentation, this short presentation from about our alumni network, Career Center and Alumni Network with Frederic. And we will retake you, girls, at the end just to check if we have some questions. If not, it will be the end. Thank you.
So hello everyone, thanks a lot to our graduates. It's really precious to have you and to have the opportunity to know more about you and what you became after CADGE. So I'm Frédéric Gobert. I'm in charge of the alumni network of CADGE Alumni Network that gathered CADGE students and graduates. It represents 80,000 people. and this network is one of the biggest of French business school and one of the most active. And as a student, you'll join this network as soon as you'll enter the school. So today I will talk to you, as Catherine was saying, about employability at Kedge, and now the school is supporting you as a student, but also as a graduate in your internship and job search, as well as in your career evolution. So as a student, you'll first have to orient yourself, and Kedge will help you by organizing job days to offer you the opportunity to discover European companies and meet professionals, by offering you individual coaching all along your studies, by offering you the opportunity to choose some mentors within the alumni networks in companies you are targeting, and also by offering you the opportunity to meet our graduates and our partners' companies in various events we organize in France or abroad. After orientation, you'll have to find job opportunities and reply to them. So you'll be able to participate in recruitment fairs organized by the school. You'll have access also to various job boards with internship and employment offers. You'll have access to the alumni directory and also to your teachers' professional networks, and to various groups on social networks where we regularly share job offers. To prepare yourself to reply to these job opportunities, you'll also have access to workshops on various themes, such as optimize my LinkedIn profile, value my experience during the recruitment process, work on my CV or motivation letters. And you'll also have access to simulation of recruitment interviews. Once you'll be graduates, the alumni network will take over and support you with various services that you'll benefit all along your life and in any professional situation. For example, the network will support you if you're looking for a job, if you want to create a company, if you want to change your career. We are offering also executive outplacement services and so on. Lastly, please note that if you decide to set up a company as a student, but also as a graduate, you'll be able to integrate one of our incubators and benefit from a support in a stimulating ecosystem composed of other entrepreneurs, coach, lawyers, bankers, and even business angels from the alumni network. All those services, events, and tools will offer you the opportunity to define and build your career in France or abroad in accordance with your personality, your expertise, and your values. So this is the end for me. If you have any question, I'm at your disposal.
Thank you, Frédéric. Well, actually, we don't have any question, so I think that you gave enough details and about your experiences, which is, I think, very good. If you need to get extra information, so thank you. Always very clear. I can read that. Always very clear. Yes, I think that. Thank you so much, because you really shared so many aspects of your own experiences. It was very interesting to hear yours tonight. So thank you so much. If you need anyway more information about the programs, just feel free to come back to me. I will share my details once again. And we hope to see you soon at Kedge. Thank you very much, and have a very nice day, evening, wherever you are in the world. So bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Merci beaucoup les filles.